when it's your money, when it's the way that you're able to eat, the way able to keep your family alive, to put a roof over your head. Again, I talk to a lot of interesting Bitcoiners lately, Ed, and they say, look, freedom of speech is important. And again, we kind of had to fight for freedom of speech in 2020, and YouTube was trying to take us off for things we were saying, and I got a lesson in freedom of speech. But he said, look, if you don't have financial freedom, freedom of speech is a luxury. If you can't even have enough money to feed yourself or survive, these other things that we talk about as these essential human rights go out the window. Just like you said, you're the guy there asking for money on the street and no one can give it to you. That's real control. And so it's an important issue, an important fight, and don't let it happen.
Extremely important.
Yeah.
And as the actress playing the role of the reporter said, it's a very grim picture, and that's the understatement, really.
So,
and I don't know if it ever should happen. Is there any hope that it would unhappen? And I don't know. We get into another area there. I'm kind of a student of these prehistory catastrophes that have happened on the planet Earth. There's a lot of evidence that there were previous civilizations with high levels of technology and learning that had just disappeared. And then there was sort of a restart from ground zero again. Maybe we're facing that. Maybe that's the only way, is to restart from ground zero and become cavemen. That's a very grim picture.
Yeah, I've heard some theories about that as well. It's interesting you mentioned Orwell, because he used to write right here in London and near where I live in Hampstead. And I actually just finished Animal Farm on Audible a couple weeks ago, which is fascinating, by the way. And it looks like an argument against socialism, but when you go deep, apparently it was his argument to keep the communists from ruining socialism. And again, a fascinating read. And I'm doing 1984 as we speak. I'm about halfway through. Needless to say, it's a little darker than Animal Farm, and some days I'm not ready for my 1984 Audible experience. But they're powerful books, and I'm listening to them now because I think I need to know now about what he was talking about in the past.
Well, we all need to know that, and people sometimes overestimate my clairvoyance and my ability to see the future. They think I'm smart, Well, if it hadn't been for the grace of God and a couple of role models that I had crossed my path in my life, I doubt it that I would be any different than the average person in the gum-chewing public, because I really had a bad start. I used to think that this was the land of the free and the home of the brave. Nothing could ever happen in America. Didn't have to worry about it. It's all taken care of by those wonderful politicians in Washington, D.C. Those good guys. I knew they were good guys because we voted for them. I mean, I was so naive. And so the reason I say that is because your comment that we need to learn about these things, because who's going to come to save us? We are the ones that we've been waiting for to come and save us. That means we've got to get up to speed on these issues real fast if we have any hope to change it.
Yeah, it's well said. No one's here to save us. We have to save ourselves with education and action. Ed, you've talked in detail about power versus money. And traditionally, those have been maybe primarily two means of controlling people's actions. But I've heard you argue recently that as the definition of money maybe starts to get a little obscure, that we might see it used less, and we might be exercising power more. I'm curious if you can maybe talk about that. It's interesting. There's a pretty famous guy named Andrew Tate right now who reportedly was worth up near $1 billion, but that money is all useless now because he's on house arrest and is now being accused of various things because he was very vocal about a lot of issues that were probably anti-collective. And you can see how that money is now maybe not worth anything. Maybe if you had your money in CBDCs, like you said, it could be turned off. Just curious on your thoughts on the future of power versus money.
Well, I am one of those people among so many who have all my life talked about the dangers of money and power. And then it was not too long ago, I came to the realization, wait a minute, that's redundant. There's no difference. The reason money is of value is because it is power. Money is the power it's a measure of the extent to which we can avail ourselves of the services of other people. And that is power. So it's really the same word. It's just that some people have other paths to power other than money. Like women have a great path to power. They don't need a lot of money if they are very clever and very attractive and they understand how weak the male mind is and can manipulate it. That's power. I've seen it. And it's not altogether bad, by the way. It's sometimes rather entertaining. There are lots of kinds of power. Intellectual power is very useful too. But money can buy all of those things. So it's the universal access to all these different levels of power. So in that sense, money is power. So we're really talking about power over other people. And that simplifies the issue considerably. I don't feel that money is bad. In fact, I think money is a great discovery, a great invention, the medium of exchange. So you can buy something or acquire something without having to give something up of value that you want for yourself. So you can have this storehouse of value. So I like money, and the idea that money is the root of all evil, I think, is another error. Money is not the root of all evil. It's evil people that are the root to all evil. And it's the evil people who use money for evil purposes. Now, good people can use money for good purposes. So money can be the root of all good as well, or most of it anyway. So those are my preliminary thoughts on this to clear up the vocabulary that money really is just another form of power, probably the most useful form of power because it can be transformed into any subcategory that you wish. Now, where do we go from there? Now, if they take away our money, then we don't have any leverage at all for power. We have no power. That's, I think, what they want, is so that the individual has no power.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.